Peter Paul van Hoeken was a successful banker in Europe before he became an entrepreneur. Moving to Canada in 2010, he worked with many small companies to help raise capital. This ultimately led him to found FrontFundr, an online investment platform that links investors with businesses. He's here today to tell us his story and to talk about a revolution in how companies raise capital. Welcome to Biz One-on-One, Peter Paul.
Thank you, Rennie. It's great to be here.
And the term is known as crowdfunding. But what you're doing with FrontFundr is so much more than crowdfunding.
Absolutely. So, and you refer to it as a revolution. We're basically using the crowdfunding principle, if you like, but we're applying it to truly investing in companies. So what we're doing with FrontFundr is that we enable companies to raise money from essentially anyone they want. So we help companies to expand the capital pool, investors they can approach. And on the other side, we help investors to invest in companies, in small companies that to date they were basically unable to invest in.
To give a simple example, a company that might be raising capital very early on, they've opened it up to their so-called friends and family. They might be raising capital at a valuation of like a $1 million or $2 million, sometimes even less than that. By the time they get to the stage where they're ready to go public and the public gets access to that capital, to that investment opportunity, that company is usually valued much higher, right. 20 million, 30 million. So those initial investors, if it's successful, have a big, huge upside.
Right.
Now, with upside also comes risk. Is it fair to say that a lot of the companies on FrontFundr are more risky than the companies you'd find on the TSX Venture, for example?
You know, the companies on our platform are typically earlier stage companies. So yes, there is usually more risk associated. There's simply higher levels of uncertainty. These companies, you know, they're still often in a phase of proving the concept. So yeah, I think it's fair to say that the companies, the younger companies, are obviously higher risk, and this is also where we as FrontFundr want to take our responsibility in terms of making sure that investors understand those risks, and especially because we are basically inviting anyone to the table on our platform to invest in these companies. So we have a lot of investors that are first-time investors in private companies. So, and of course, when you see a fancy video and you see all this great stuff that these companies want to do, you know, you want to make sure that investor is excited about that, but he also understand, like, look, there is a flip side, there is a risk associated, and before you invest and put money in, you got to realize that there are also risk associated. So education of investors and also keeping it really as simple as possible and transparent. Those are all kind of principles that we build our platform on. So we want to really keep it as simple as possible so that everyone essentially understands what it is about.
You are actually a fully sanctioned exempt market dealer and have dealt with all the securities commissions across the country and are fully compliant. Tell us a little bit about that aspect of it.
So, you know, to get where we are today with FrontFundr, it's been a very interesting and a bumpy journey because the challenge here was to bring all the pieces together. So obviously we're going to build a platform, so the technology. But you're right, because we're dealing with people's money, we're dealing in shares, but debt. We're dealing with securities. We're regulated. So yeah, it's literally started with a discussion with the securities regulator. Say, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to take everything online, and I can do it, and I don't even ask you to change the rules. So that's when it started. And yes, we are operating as a so-called exempt market dealer. So we are registered. We're supervised by all the securities, provincial securities regulators across Canada, and yeah, we got to be fully compliant, and we have to meet requirements with respect to before we can't just put a company on a platform and see what happens, and we do our due diligence on this company because of securities regulations, but also we want to bring vetted companies on our platform. And on the other side, before an investor can make an investment, we need to know a bit more about you than just your name or your email. We need to bit more about your financial situation and etc. before we actually invest. The good thing is everything is done online.
It's fantastic. It's like the Uber of investing.
I
love
totally.
it. It's so exciting for me as an angel investor myself and being involved in angel groups. You see how difficult it is for companies in the early stages to raise capital, particularly in Canada, compared to, for example, in Silicon Valley or in Europe. So it's wildly exciting to me. How's it been going? You've only been in business for like a year, right?
So we've launched our platform just over about 18 months ago. We're getting great traction. We closed 10 deals to date. We raised over $5 million from over 2,000 investors. And just to give you an idea, minimum investment on our platform, $100.
Wow.
And you become a shareholder alongside the founder. Exactly the same investment, same security. But we also attracted investments of over $100,000, and they're all in the same boat. So that's inclusivity, right? That's really opening up. That's why we like to talk about our platform. Is we are democratizing investing in private companies.
So FrontFundr itself went on its own platform. What was the valuation that you offered your shares at?
We raised $750,000 at a 4.1 million valuation. And we're still in the very early days, right? So we're basically saying, look, we're proven. What we've done is we closed the first couple of deals, and we say, look, we've proven the concept. Now it's time to drink our own whiskey and show that we totally believe in our own product. So we brought it online, and indeed invited everyone. And we have companies that raise through our platform. We have investors, anyone that supports what we're doing and likes to see us succeed and take this really big. We invite them to the table to invest in FrontFundr. So we have now investors for $100 that are now a shareholder in the company. They hold the same shares as I do, and the other founders. And so basically we're and we have a whole bunch of new supporters, right? We've got 200 people say,
exactly.
They literally have a vested interest to talk about us. Say, hey, check it out. And by the way, I own a piece of the action.
Well, thank you so much for being on Biz One-on-One, Peter Paul.
It was a pleasure.
And best of luck with FrontFundr.
Thanks, Rennie.